One of the first things that's really important about op-eds and what is the A in the ABC structure is attention. You need to get people's attention. This is really a central part of an op-ed. And as I move through these videos, I'm going to talk a little bit about some op-eds that I've written myself and how I use this structure to write some of my own op-eds or help other people write op-eds about their own topics. So this attention idea, and I'm going to talk about it for a moment, started for me when I first started working at US News and World Report. I was in my 20s, and one of my first articles was about paddling in schools. There's this weird thing where teachers are still allowed to paddle kids. This was true when I wrote this in my 20s. It remains true today. And there was a bill moving through Congress, and I was writing an article about it. And the way that I tried to grab the attention of the readers was to interview a young man and to really start off with that perspective. And I started off, I forget about the piece, though it's in the readings where you can say, you can see it yourself. Ben never thought it would hurt his buttocks that bad. And that was really my attention way of bringing people in. When you use attention at that beginning, that first paragraph of an op-ed, you can do it in two ways. You can do it in narrative form, which is telling a little story in just a couple of sentences, like I did with the Ben story. I've done that for other articles as well. To give another example, I wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post about neurofeedback. And I started that with a story about how I had this netting on top of my head with electrodes. It was, again, a narrative way to bring people into the story, to get people excited. The other way that you can start an op-ed is with more of a news approach. And this news approach is really just kind of that interesting detail that will pull people in. Sometimes it's a piece of data. Sometimes it is just the news of the day. So you could have started a op-ed about paddling, whether it's happening now or happened a couple of years ago, as it did with me, to say, a law is running through Congress around banning paddling in schools. What's important to keep in mind here is that this attention section in this beginning part of an op-ed is what's going to keep people interested. What's different about journalism, what's different about writing for a public audience than writing, whether it's a guide to designing a home or some instructions that you might get from your HR department, is that people can leave at any time. When you've opened up the newspaper, when you've pulled open a blog, people can leave at any time. So you want to structure your op-ed. You want to get people's attention that keeps them reading, right? You want to use everything within your power to develop that argument, to develop that interest so that people pay attention.